and President John Dramani Mahama nominate John Jinapor as the Minister of Energy. Na so here parliamentary approval and so on be Minister of Energy no, but was start ya wo di ni dwuma be here bia because in name say President Akufo-Addo free no na ban MPP free no fuel ye here see the power the thermal plant e generate electricity no they left only 4 hours. A bit me last for only 4 hours. In the end, this bar no. I say a trap will set it. Just said ye say President John Dramani Mahama buy and Dumsa Saba. You never kaya time President Mahama hon into MPP forces set that trap. Said President Mahama buy and I say Dumsa Saba. So they left fuel for only 4 hours. Into said John Jinapor nominating no, but Odi was started in Juma Wakoto fuel ni be free Nigeria ni ati aeba. No radio good. What in Zambia to join radio good. So are you busy? He's trying to sort out things. But radio good friend no. One I was say Bawumia me name say Bawumia Hubtel. Hubtel as home na ECG for sika. Auto prepaid Eko Hubtel for Hansan is Canada ECG for no. Solomon Uswa no ye MPP nearby say or ye or can Afrafanto one lunch Martin who de two just say Hubtel Bawumia dia. Into one also cancel try to cancel that Hubtel contract no. So the Sikane Bawumia hono best stop it. Two, I also try to sort out the fuel issue. I said the Dumson Sama no mama say President John Dramani Mahama the anytime be otisubiyano Dumso ene ho. Na radio good friend no and same say no the tuja mumienkuti.
By his nomination as Energy Minister as John Jinapor, member of Parliament for Yape Kusogu, joins us on the line. Good morning to you.
Good morning, my brother.
I hope you're well, sir.
I'm doing good.
Congratulations, anyway.
Thank you very much.
Was this something you expected?
Kind of, because first of all, appointments are the prerogative of the president. I mean, I've been a member of the Energy Committee since I went to Parliament till date. I rose through the ranks to become the ranking member. And normally as ranking member in some jurisdictions, you are seen as a shadow minister. I've also been deputy minister for that sector. I've been the chairperson for the manifesto, the Energy Committee, since 2020 and 2024. So it led the process to develop and come out with our manifesto as far as the energy sector is concerned. Also, I was the chairperson for the policy committee in the flag bearers office from the energy sector. I was the chairperson for the transition committee on the energy sector. I was the lead person on all the presentations on the energy sector with President Mahama at the policy dialogue in US, in UK, in Dubai, almost everywhere with the US Embassy, with Millennium Challenge Corporation, with the World Bank, with the IMF. I led all the presentation on the energy sector, whilst Atro did that of the finance committee. And once in a while, the boss would encourage you that you are doing well, continue in that state. So naturally, I felt that it was possible for the president to consider me for the position of Minister of Energy. Academically, to have a master's in energy economics, a master's in finance, a master's in development finance, an MBA, and a master's in economics. So naturally, I've gravitated towards the energy sector and finance. And so I knew that there was a high probability of being considered for that position. And also, even when the president assumed office, he made me the chair of the technical committee to avert the looming crisis as far as the fuel shortages are concerned. And so I'm not too surprised, let me be frank with you, but I take this seriously. I do not take it lightly at all, because there are other people who could have been considered for this position. So let me be frank with you. It's a huge honor, it's a privilege to have the president nominate me as Minister Designate for Energy. but it's equally a very huge challenge.
And that's where I was coming to. That is rare for spokespersons to usually assume, or ranking members to usually assume the position where they were very critical of. Because then the other people will just now sit back and say you can do it and let's see. What you understand this sector quite well. What are immediate priorities?
First of all, the immediate priority is to secure fuel. We have huge fuel shortages, especially liquid fuel. And so the slightest disruption with gas supplies, we're going to have serious load shedding. Moreover, the West African gas pipeline intends to do some major maintenance exercise on the pipeline, which means that there will be 180 million standard cubic feet of curtailment of gas to the east. And there are a lot of plans, about 1,250 megawatts of power. So, okay, that's my immediate priority. 2 is to restore the financial health of the sector. $2.5 billion of liabilities growing at a very fast rate. It ought to be handled. The projection is that if nothing is done, it could hit 12.5 billion. The sector will collapse if we don't do anything about it. So that brings about pursuing policies that ensures efficiency, value for money, and a high level of professionalism. Then fuel security in the medium to long term. We want to have a gas to power era. That calls for a lot of work, and that's what we'll be doing. And then the petroleum sector. We intend to become the export hub. So we want to do something in Bolga. We want to ensure that we have a multimodal fuel system, pipeline, barges, railway, and increase petroleum production upstream, which is very important. Our upstream petroleum production has reduced or dwindled by more than 30%. At that rate, we are headed for trouble. And so we must immediately tackle that and ensure that we increase the production of petroleum products upstream. And so these are some of the issues that we'll be confronted with. We have to try and become a main net exporter of power, feeding power into the West African power pool. But immediately, like you said, the financial challenges are threatening the sector. Car Power has just written a letter that we owe them $370 million. If nothing is done, they will shut the pipeline.
$370 million?
Yes, $370 million.
That's just one power plant?
That is only one power plant. Before the election, you call Asogli shut down for non-payment of bills. That bill is still pending. We need to engage them. The West African Power, also WAPCO, sent some notice that they were shutting down. That's another issue we have to deal with. ENI, we owe them several millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars. They've even called on the guarantee. That's something we should deal with. Talo, the debt of more than $150 million or so, that also has to be dealt with. The Letasco guarantee has already been called. And so GMPC is hit with a debt of $270 million. And now the Letasco is even taking our oil to defray part of that liability. That's also something we have to deal with. And so it's not easy, but we are determined. We'll do everything we can to ensure that we tackle this head on.
In fact, I do have to let you go into a meeting urgently. But one last thing that has always occupied the attention of Ghanaians, what about refining what you produce here in Ghana? Is one of the things people have been talking about. TOR. What happens to TOR for?
From our refinery, we want a strategic private sector to revamp the refinery and ultimately process our own crude in Ghana. That ensures that there is value for money. We intend to review the goals for oil program. We intend to also restructure BOST so that BOST will refocus on its core mandate. We must have a second gas processing plant with Ghana Gas, and that is also a focus. So Tamale refinery is critical. We have to restore that refinery. Since 2020, for about 5 years now, they've not been refining oil. And the more the refinery remains idle, the more it becomes obsolete and months capital injection. So it's something we have to deal with.
Honorable, congratulations once again. Thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.